Don't let your present disappoint you or discourage you or put you into a phase of depression. Because remember one thing, as you press on with God and work upon the gifts that God has given you, the abilities that God has given you, your present will definitely be a testimony of the amazing work that God's going to be doing in your life. Well, when you open to Genesis chapter 31, we read of the story of Jacob. Remember, when Jacob went to his father-in-law, that time it was his uncle Laban's place, he went empty-handed. He went poor. He went with nothing. Well, when we read in Genesis 31 verse 1, now look at the testimony. It says, "Now Jacob heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what was our father's he has acquired all this wealth." So now we are seeing here that Jacob has become a wealthy man. He went empty-handed, but now he's become wealthy. But we read in Genesis 32 verses 14 and 15, it says there, okay, now as Jacob is going to meet his brother Esau, he sends presents, gifts ahead of him. And look at the list there. It says he sends 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams. Verse 15, 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 fowls. Now remember, in those days, they would measure their wealth by the assets that they owned or by the cattle that they had. And here we see Jacob is giving his brother amazing gifts, speaking about how wealthy he had become. And yet, when we read later on in verse 26, it says there, "And he said, let me go, for day breaks. But he said," that is Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." What does that speak to us? Now we read in 31 verse 1, Jacob has become wealthy. We read in verses 14 and 15 of Genesis 32 that he's giving gifts to his brother Esau, and not just some cheap gifts, but expensive gifts. And yet he says, bless me. He's acquired wealth, he's acquired riches, and yet he says, bless me. You know, many a times in our life we think if we have the riches of this world, we are blessed, right? Many a times we think that if we have a great big house, we are blessed. If many a times we think if we wear the branded clothes and if we have branded gadgets with us, we are blessed. But not so. Look into the life of Jacob. He was blessed materially. He was wealthy, but there was a vacuum on the inside. There was emptiness on the inside. There were struggles on the inside. And that's why his wealth, when you meditate on it, you begin to realize his wealth couldn't help him to deal with the issues on the inside. I want to tell you, no matter how much wealth you gain, no matter how much position you gain, no matter how many assets you have, no matter what branded clothes you wear, the struggles on the inside, these assets, this wealth, the treasures that you have accumulated will never be able to help you. It is only God and God alone. And that's what Jacob does. He goes before God in that wrestling match that he had with God. He begins to cry out for one thing, not for more blessings of the treasures of the world, but God, bless me. That means work within me, change that struggles on the inside, change my mindset, change my emotions, begin to change me, God. Come on. I want to encourage you and tell you, let's be people who turn to the Lord and say, God, change me. We've been praying for the assets. We've been praying for our situations to change. We've been praying for our land, properties, and things that are concerning us. But let us be people that pray for one thing today. Not just today, for the days to come. That is, God, work a work within me. Begin to transform my mind. Begin to change my emotions. Begin to deal with those fears. Begin to deal with those insecurities. Begin to deal with my jealousies. Begin to deal with my hurts, my anger, my pain. That's when you will truly enjoy a blessed life. You may not have the wealth or the riches that those extremely rich people have, but the little that you have, because God has worked within you, you will begin to have more than enough. You will begin to truly enjoy life. We see Jacob having everything, yet he says, bless me. Let us be people that say, God, bless me, speak good over me, transform me, and change my